Hey guys, welcome to excelfornoobs.com. In this tutorial I'm going to go over basic formulas and functions. I'm going to show you how to enter and use functions in Microsoft Excel. Now you can see here I'm using the Excel 2013 version, but this tutorial will also work for older versions of Excel such as 2010, 2003, or 2007, and 2003. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to go over is to let Excel know that you're going to enter in a function or a formula, you first have to equal the enter sign. The equal symbol. That's the if you're going to anytime you're going to enter in a formula or a function, you must let Excel know what you're doing by hitting the equal symbol first. It's the first thing entered into that cell. Whenever you do that, Excel expects a formula or a function. Okay. So now I'm just going to go over the basic operators, the math operators in Excel. So you can see here we have addition, subtraction, all this is stuff you should have learned in elementary school. Forward symbols, division. We have the asterisk, which is multiplication. For exponentials here, concatenation, joining numbers together. This is a logical comparison, saying equal to. Here we have greater than, the greater than symbol. Less than, this stands for greater than or equal to. Less than or equal to here. And then we have the less than and the greater than symbol together, which stands for not equal to. And now I'm going to show you how we're going to start entering our first function. So you can see over here we'll start with addition. All I have to do, I can enter n numbers equals 5 plus 5. And that's our first formula. And we hit enter, and you can see that our result is 10. Okay. We can enter as many arguments as we want, equals 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 10. We can keep going, and it will find the sum of all of those numbers. Another thing we can do is we can refer to cells. Equals number 1 plus cell D2 plus cell E2, and it will find the sum of the numbers that are entered into these cells. Now when we're referring to cells, this is really what makes Excel very powerful. We can change the numbers, and that will change the result of the formula because the number has changed and it's finding the sum of a different number. And that's really why it's more important to refer to cells for your arguments instead of hard coding them in, because it's easy to make mistakes and it's much more efficient. Okay, so I'll go through these very quickly because I think you kind of get it. Referring to cells, minus, I'm doing subtraction here, and you can see it just subtracts the numbers. We can do 1 equals 5 minus 5, result's going to be 0, that's manually entering in, equals 20, cell E3 minus cell D3, 20 minus 10, going to give us a result of 10. So there's subtraction. Alright, division equals 20, or the content within cell E4 divided by cell D4. It's going to give us 2. If we change this to 40, our result changes. It's also important for you to know the order of operations. I have a couple tutorials on that. You can look around on my website at Excel for Noobs or through my videos if you don't know those yet. Alright, multiplication, 5 asterisk 5, a result of 25, or we can refer to cells, hit equals, cell C5 asterisk D5 or star, whichever you want to call it, and there we get 50. Here I'm going down to cell F6, and now we can work with exponential functions and formulas. I can hit always the equal sign and referring to cells. To the power of is what that stands for, exponential. 5 to the power of 10, and what that's going to do is calculate 5 times 5 10 times. And there we get our result, or we can enter it manually. And of course you can combine all of these together. Okay, now if we want to join numbers together, equals 5 and symbol, 5 and symbol, I'm sorry, cell D7 and symbol, and the content within cell E7. And that should join all of our numbers together, and we should get 51,020. So it's just joining the numbers together as one number. Okay, now we're going to move into logical comparisons. The equal symbol, we can use it also as a logical comparison. So I can say equals 5 is equal to 5. And if it's true, it's going to say true. And if it's false, it's going to be false. So if I say equals 5 is equal to 6, that's false. And our result will be false. And the same thing with referring to cells. If cell C8 is equal to cell D8, but it's not, it's false. And then again, if I change the value to 10, it is equal, and therefore it's true. And another thing I can show you, I can also enter in, we can refer to cells that contain formulas. So equals to 5 plus 5, it's still true because the result of that formula, and I can change another formula, equals to 4 plus 6, a completely different formula, but with the same result. And since the results are the same, my result over here and the argument or the comparison remains true. And then the same thing, 20 is greater than, logical comparison, greater than 10. If that's true, my result is true. Less than, if 20 is less than 10, actually I'm referring to if 20 is less than, or if the result of the content in E10 is less than in D10, which it is. Then, equals D10 less than E10. That's true. And again, it's false if I enter a greater number, or even if I enter the equal number, because it's less than, it's not less than or equal to. But here we start getting into the greater than and less than and equal to. Alright, so if call it two equal numbers, equals D11, if D11 is greater than or equal to, equal to the content within cell E11, our result should be true, even if it's equal to and not greater than, and it is. And if it's greater than, it still remains true. However, if it's less than, our result will be false. I think you get the hang of this. 20 less than or equal to 10. It's false because 20 is greater than 10, but now let's make D12 greater than E12, and you can see we get a true result. And finally, if cell D10 is not equal to cell D13, not equal to cell D13, and that is true. 10 is not equal to 20. However, it's false if I change the value in the cell that I'm referring to. So there, I think you have a pretty decent understanding of the basic operators. And just so you understand, you can combine these. So I could come over here and I could say equals 20 plus, and just keep referring to different cells, divided by 10, that cell. And it's good to know the order of operations. If you want to separate a formula plus, you can use parentheses. And remember, in the order of operations, anything inside the parentheses will be calculated first. 1 plus 3 times 9, or cell E9 to the power of 3, and I'm just making stuff up, divided by 5, and there's a result. I don't even know what I did, but the point was you can combine all of these operators together. Okay, moving on over, I'm going to kind of go a little bit deeper into cell reference. Okay, so here I have what I'm going to make a very